please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The stock that is on our radar right now is Jyothy Laboratories. There's a lot to talk to Mr. Ullas Kamath, who joins us now with regards to the company. First up, you have the GST rates which have come off. Secondly, Q2 results. And also we'll talk about the Henkel stake sale. And as we speak, the stock has moved to the high point of the day. Thanks a lot, Mr. Kamath, for joining in. The street really wants to know a lot of things from you. First up, let's talk about the GST itself. The rates were cut on a lot of the products. How much do that account for in terms of your total portfolio? Have you taken rate cuts? And as a result of that, what is the incremental volume growth that you expect?
Thank you very much. GST rate cut has come as an absolute blessing for FMCG companies, and for us we got a beta of about 4% net, and in entirety we are passed on to the next level, to the distributor and to the trade, effective from the announcement from the government. And all our new packaging happening from November 15th are going with like revised the GST. So to that extent, in entirety it's been passed on to the consumer.
All right, Mr. Kamath, I want to get back to this GST topic, but as Mangalam said, Henkel didn't go ahead and exercise that option. What's next? Some part of the street was very, very disappointed that they didn't do that, because remember, that was postponed once. So they were hoping that this time around they'll go ahead, and they'll take a larger chunk in the company. What's next? Is there a plan B? Are they still interested? Is there a window of option still for them? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like any progressive company will always have, like a plan B, and nothing is done unless it is done. And both of us, like as a company, we like each other the way how we function. But all in a marriage, what we look for is independence to run in the country, and that's what we are waiting for or looking for. When certain things does not work, it is better not to get married than getting stuck thereafter. That is the simple solution what we found, and that's where we are, and that's how we see us very comfortable. And in India, in Indian way of make in India, made for India, what we are good at, I think we should concentrate on that. Having said that, plan B is definitely they want to come to India, and there is various other ways they can come to India along with us, not necessarily to participate in our equity, because if that is the worry for them. And money available today at the marketplace is any businessman can do a wonderful business in India. Lowest point is 7.25%. The money is available today in the country. So to that extent, still they are looking at India, and we are talking to them, and let's see. But absolutely that option is behind us, and we are very, very happy and comfortable about it.
Okay, Mr. Kamath, not getting married but still not talking to each other is the way we can put your relationship with Henkel. But are you quoting any other person?
Yeah.
Then, I mean, any other MNC, any other Make in India you spoke about, any domestic company that you're quoting, some sort of announcement that could be likely? Are you in talks?
No, not at all. Till 31st March 2018, I want to just concentrate on the GST transition and get the best out of it from the existing business what we have. Just consolidate with the traction what you have got in the last quarter.
All right. So this is behind us then, Mr. Kamath. Mangalam, I hope he's not taking a cue from this. The reason he asked you if you're quoting anyone else, I guess he has his options. But we'll talk about that some other time. Let's talk about the business then. You're talking about you have passed on the GST rate cut, etc. Can that help demand now? Will Q3, Q4 really see a spurt in demand? Your take on the same? And out of your total portfolio, how much of this cut, is applicable? Is it to 50% of your portfolio, 60%? If you could give us a broad number.
42% is where the cut is applicable to us, and remaining it is not. And what we have done in the last quarter itself is wherever the benefit we got, not only from the GST but also from input cost reduction what we got, we passed on, because during the tough time it's always better to like give it to the traders, give it to the consumers. It will always get you the volume, and which we are seeing the traction. Last quarter we grew by 9.65% with a volume of about 4%, and run rate now is around 15%, which is very, very heartening to note. And the trade community, for them that 28% and to 18% has become absolutely a game changer for them, and that feel good factors come in. That's very, very important. We are dealing with millions of retailers. For them that feel good factor is what building the volume now, and as of now our run rate is around 15% in the value terms, and the volume is about 8 to 9% volume is what I'm seeing, up 3.5% from last quarter.
All right, wonderful. So we'll talk about the numbers itself. The first half you did revenue growth of about 3.5%. You spoke about volume growth of 4% in the previous quarter, and now the run rate. Earlier you had said, the revenue growth for the company could be anywhere between 10 to 12%. Do you stand by that for entire FY18? And what kind of margins? Because your margins are about 500 basis points lower than peers. So outlook on the revenue growth and margins going forward?
Yeah, we'll be able to achieve the 10 to 12% top line growth for the entire year, being minus 15% for the first quarter, but we'll be able to make it up before March 2018. So 10 to 12% I still hold on for the top line growth. EBITDA margin will achieve 16%. We achieved 16.4 last quarter, but going forward, 16% is what we'll be able to maintain it. And whatever the peers, the difference between us and the peers, probably a percentage point we can improve it in the coming year, but otherwise the portfolio of product mix what we have is different when compared to the peers. Especially we have 42% coming from fabric care, wherein the margins are slightly lower when compared to other products.
Well, Mr. Kamath, and otherwise a flattish market, your stock is up close to around 4.5%. So investors will really want to know, is the worst over for Jyothy Laboratories? Are things looking up from here on?
Yeah, it is looking very good, especially the household insecticides business and the dishwash segment. We are getting market share very nicely, and consolidating our existing portfolio is what you are seeing the business last quarter and going forward. And opportunities are plenty for any FMCG company, and both inorganic and also organic. And we are looking at which, as I told you, that any progressive company has to look for inorganic growth, which we are doing it.
Okay, fair point, Mr. Kamath, for joining in and giving us all those details. The street fairly excited. Stock virtually at the high point of the day. That was Jyothy Laboratories talking about 10 to 12% revenue growth in FY18, 16% margins. Also maybe keeping an eye out on any sort of inorganic opportunities. We'll watch out for that.